In a move that's a little difficult to believe, Dan ODowd, founder of Green Hill Software, now says that he's a Senate candidate, but the only issue he's running on is attacking full self-driving. Let's take a look. And for those of you interested in investing, check out WeBull, an amazing platform for buying and selling stocks, and now cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, Dogecoin, and others. Open an account and get a free stock valued at up to $200, and fund your account and get another free stock valued at up to $1,600. Check out the link in the description and help the channel at the same time. Hey y'all, it's Dr. Know-It-All. So I thought for sure that I would be doing a full self-driving beta 10.2 release notes video by today, but unfortunately, as far as I know, it's still not out. So there are no release notes yet. So anyway, keep an eye out on this space. Hopefully it will be coming soon. Instead, I have to do a video about Dan ODowd, and forgive me if I call him Matt ODowd in the middle of this video at some point. Matt ODowd is the host of PBS Spacetime, and he's an awesome person, way more awesome than Dan ODowd is. For those of you who know about Dan ODowd, he's the person who has been just really attacking full self-driving, and even Elon Musk to some extent personally. He took out a full-page ad in the New York Times a few months ago attacking full self-driving. He's put out videos about it, and now he's put out what's apparently a political video, but it seems like a hit piece against full self-driving. So it's a sort of a complex little web here, but it seems like what's happening is Dan ODowd was not getting enough traction with a sort of publicity aspect of it for the safety of consumers. So now what he's doing is, I think, more or less pretending to run for US Senate in order to push this full self-driving is unsafe narrative. So what I'm going to do first is show part of a story from KPIX CBS news station in San Francisco that talks about this. I'll leave a link to the original in the description, of course, so you can check it out yourself. But I think it's important to hear what they have to say about this and what Dan ODowd himself has to say about this, and then we can discuss it in more detail and discuss what's really going on under the hood.
Dan ODowd made his fortune in software. Now he's using it to fund a campaign driven by one issue. He told KPIX5's Kit Doe his plan to save the world starts with taking on Tesla.
Over the past month, there's a fairly good chance you have seen this video.
From turning too tightly and hitting a pylon.
It is clip after clip, essentially bashing Tesla's self-driving technology for a full minute. And it's on the airwaves all over California. It turns out it is a political ad.
I'm Dan ODowd, and I approve this message.
If you're confused, you're not alone.
So you're running for Senate, but then the message is Tesla software is terrible. Do I have that right?
Well, that's the beginning. That's a part of the message. The whole message is much bigger.
Here's the thing. ODowd is not wrong when it comes to Tesla's autopilot. If you've ever been in one, you know it can do some really weird stuff, make some unexpected maneuvers. But to base an entire US Senate campaign on this?
ODowd is running as a single-issue candidate, essentially using Tesla as a way to segue into the broader issue of cybersecurity. ODowd says our infrastructure, power grids, hospitals, and yes, self-driving cars are all at risk of a cyber attack.
I view this as the biggest problem of our time, even bigger than nuclear weapons. My slogan is making computers safe for humanity. We got to find those computers, we've got to disconnect them, or we've got to reprogram them so they can't be hacked, and so they're not going to fail and leave us all defenseless.
What about homelessness? What about the environment? What about the drought?
When they bring down the power grid, everyone will be homeless. You won't be able to go anywhere. You won't be able to live in your home. I just think it's a more important issue.
ODowd became a billionaire after founding Green Hill Software in 1992 and sells software to automakers related to self-driving, but says he's not a competitor to Tesla and that there is no conflict of interest. It kind of begs the question, is this an actual real run for Senate, or is this just to try and draw attention to the cybersecurity issue in our country?
It is both. But by not taking positions on other issues, I'm letting people make that decision on this single issue.
All right, so there is an awful lot in that video to kind of go over. The first thing I think is to back up and say who Dan ODowd is. And so in order to do that, I'm going to turn to Wikipedia just to get some basic facts about Green Hill Software. You can, of course, go and search other sources if you're interested in this. It doesn't really have any opinions. It just has kind of a history of the software company. So it was founded in 1982 by Dan ODowd and Carl Rosenberg. and its world headquarters are in Santa Barbara, California. So of course that makes sense then that he would be running for senator in the state of California because that's where he's based. So what do they make? They make embedded systems for automotive and other types of application in that space. They do real-time operating systems, compilers, integrated development environments or IDEs, and weirdly enough, they also are working on VTOLs or vertical takeoff and landing vehicles. So in an interesting little bit of history, Green Hill Software and Wind River Systems enacted a 99-year contract as cooperative peers in the embedded software engineering market throughout the 1990s, but their relationship ended in a series of lawsuits throughout the early 2000s. This resulted in their parting of ways, whereupon Wind River devoted itself to publicly embracing Linux and open source software, but Green Hills initiated a public relations campaign decrying its use in issues of national security. So the import of this is that Green Hills Software is no stranger to making contracts, breaking contracts, and then suing, but also creating publicity campaigns against a competitor, which apparently Wind River Software ended up becoming when they parted ways. And if you hadn't noticed or heard before, Green Hills Software is a competitor to Tesla and especially its full self-driving software. They have aspirations in that direction for sure. So you can see that Tesla, not just full self-driving, but also their embedded OS and everything, is a major threat to Green Hills Software because Green Hills Software is used in a lot of vehicles out there right now. So when ODowd says that there's no conflict of interest between him and Tesla, when he's running for Senate and putting out these ad campaigns that are bashing Tesla, it's a kind of a strange thing for him to say and seems on the surface of it at least to be a pretty false statement. Now, ODowd of course says that this is just part of a larger issue that's the lack of integrity in our power grid and other electronic systems in the United States. And I have to give him credit for, yes, that is correct. Our power grid is very, very vulnerable. And he's right. We could all lose power if someone cyber attacked the country. So that is very, very dangerous. But Tesla as the thing to attack is not exactly, he says that he's talking about these larger issues, but apparently this ad, I don't live in California, so I haven't seen the entire thing myself, but all it does is just show clips of people having problems with full self-driving beta. And let me tell you, it is a beta. It does have problems sometimes. So if I just recorded all my drives with full self-driving beta and then cut out all the stupid things that it does, I could make it look like it was really, really bad, but what you have to remember is that 99% of the time it's working fine, and it's that 1% that's not. And obviously I'm still in charge of the car because it's a beta, and that's the requirement of driving the beta. So you can put as good a front on things or as bad a front on things as you want by cutting up stuff and editing clips together. But if he's a global, I'm worried about software security kind of guy, it's just kind of weird that he's picking on Tesla. And that's not even really a software security thing, because the vehicle, when it's operating, is really pretty much hack proof. You can't update the software or hack the software while the car is driving. So the only time that it could be done would be when the car is parked and when the user actually says, okay, you can go ahead and update this. So it's a little bit ridiculous to say that your concern is about the safety and security of a connected electronic environment and then go after something that is not that way at all. And also, I know this is another company entirely, but Elon Musk's SpaceX's Starlink, that's quite the chain, has actually been incredibly resistant to Russian attempts to hack it while it was being used in the Ukraine during the Russian-Ukraine war. So that indicates that, Elon Musk, at least his engineers, have a pretty good sense of cybersecurity, and they seem to be doing a pretty good job with that. So in short, we've got somebody who's saying he's running for Senate, but it's a one-issue thing, but his ads don't even show the actual issue that he's talking about. Instead, it's just slamming Tesla. So what is the upshot of all of this? The upshot is basically that it seems like we've got a billionaire here who's throwing a bunch of money at apparently, pretending to run a Senate campaign based on one issue, ignoring things like homelessness, climate change, the horrible drought that's going on in the state of California. He's ignoring, a lot of major issues to bash Tesla in the guise of being a political candidate. Hopefully on June 7th during the primaries, he will be handily defeated by the other candidates. But if not, this could become a really, really weird issue that you could have this person who's not qualified to run for Senate. Then again, I'm not exactly sure who is, because apparently everybody in government is a mess at this point anyway. So I'm not gonna go down that rabbit hole. But you've got somebody who has no real interest apparently in running the state of California and helping them and helping in the Senate to make things work better. He seems just dead focused on full self-driving and Tesla. And regardless of whether he says that there's a conflict of interest, it seems on its face that there is definitely a conflict of interest. If your company makes software that Tesla is also making, and Tesla is apparently eating your lunch and eventually take over your company's source of income by licensing it to other vehicle manufacturers, potentially, that's a pretty major threat to your company. So I can't see how this couldn't be a conflict of interest. Anyway, if you live in the state of California, please do leave me a comment and let me know if you've seen this ad running on social media or news or anything like that, and whether he's got any traction in the state. I have no idea if Dan O'Dowd's got any traction and whether this is just a completely frivolous kind of thing that he's doing. Yet another attempt, almost, I feel like he's throwing spaghetti at the wall to see which noodles stick, right? So he's tried the New York Times thing, that didn't work. Now he's gonna try a Senate run. And I guess if you have $1 billion, hey, you can just, do what you want. So at some point, I guess the news stations and things like that are making money because they're getting to run his ads. So they're probably happy about that. But anyway, if he wants to waste his money doing that, that's great. But my fear is that he could actually generate enough interest, number one, to actually somehow win the primary. I doubt that is going to happen. The really, really big thing, however, is that these kinds of ads running over and over again against Tesla create a huge negative bias against Tesla in the public opinion and, in the court of public opinion. That could be a huge drag on Tesla in terms of its ability to continue rolling out full self-driving beta. And that actually does tie into the full self-driving beta 10.12 release and the fact that it hasn't happened yet. I start to wonder whether Tesla has gotten a little bit scared about releasing these new versions because there is such huge negative press out there. I can't say for sure, this is just speculation from the outside. And the likelihood is that they're still working out engineering things and there's some quality assurance issues that haven't come out. But all of this stuff could eventually put a major drag on full self-driving coming out in a timely manner. And honestly, that's going to end up harming and potentially killing people because the software is safer than human drivers, or at least it should be by the time it rolls out as a general non-beta public release. So yeah, this is a really weird, bizarre story that you've got a billionaire running for the Senate without any real interest in running for the Senate, but using it to bash Tesla. It's a very, very strange thing. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this episode and found it fun and thought-provoking and a little like, what is going on with all of this stuff? Politics is a weird thing, right? If you did, please do like the video so other people can find it. And of course, consider subscribing for more of this kind of content. As always, a huge shout out to my patrons on Patreon. Thank you all so much for your support. I really appreciate this. This actually popped up in one of the Discord feeds, and so thank you for that, because I eventually saw it on Twitter, but I actually saw it first on Discord. So anyway, so thank you. And of course, if you want to join the team, just check out the link in the description. And if you're interested in a whole bunch of really cool merch, check out our merch store. Link is in the description. We have TeslaBot t-shirts, the Tesla meme t-shirt, Success is a Possible Outcome, 4680 battery cells. All of that stuff is on t-shirts, mugs, tumblers, and on. So check it out. And for those of you interested in investing, check out WeBull, an amazing platform for buying and selling stocks, and now cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, Dogecoin, and others. Open an account and get a free stock valued at up to $200, and fund your account and get another free stock valued at up to $1,600. Check out the link in the description and help the channel at the same time. Thank you. And finally, don't forget we are both Tesla and Amazon affiliates. If you look in the description, you can see how going shopping for a solar roof, a power wall, or anything on Amazon helps out the channel. In the meantime, I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.